No! Oh, three friends at the table. Lawrence Jones, Kat Timpf, Tom Shillue.
Yes,
Snappy crew. Yeah. This is glorious. It's a Wednesday. Someone called it hump day, but I think that's perverted. So what do you think is going to happen with the state of Virginia?
Oh, Virginia. They keep dropping like flies over there, but no one's going down.
No one's going down. No one's dropping.
They're literally just hanging out.
Yeah, they are. It's like a survivor challenge where you have to hold on by your fingertips.
Yeah.
And they're a little shaky.
The only one that seems to be hanging is the lieutenant governor. The rest of them are literally like strong-arming it.
Yeah.
But how's that going to look if they kick Justin Fairfield out?
The black guys have to go over allegations versus the people that have essentially admitted to blackface.
That have photographic evidence and admissions of blackface.
That's exactly right. And standing next to the Klansman. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah. And if you're going, I don't know, I see blackface, I see Klansman, I see me in both of them.
Right.
Where do you start?
That's
a problem.
Exactly. Well, I say leave them there. Leave them there until 2020. So every time they scream race, I'm going to be like, but Virginia.
But Kirk Cox, fourth in line, or he's third in line. Because he's the Speaker of the House of Delegates there.
But he's a Republican.
I know, but he's like, these are all ding-dong
all of them.
Idiots, and at some point, someone's
It's Game of Thrones now, though. They all used to be buddies, and now they all want to destroy each other.
I know,
including the Richmond mayor as well.
Oh, he needs to pipe down. Is that it?
45.
Oh, we got 45 seconds.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Well, at least a majority of Americans still prefer the system that has led to scores of billionaires and massive wealth creation. In a Fox News poll, 57% of Americans had a favorable view of capitalism. It should be so much higher than that. Astoundingly, a quarter of Americans still have a favorable view of socialism, which is wrong and bad. So how long before America goes full socialist and takes Bezos and Gates to the guillotine? Tonight's party panel is here to discuss. From the Greg Gutfeld Show, where she serves as correspondent, and National Review Online reporter Kat Timpf is here, along with campus reform editor-in-chief and Fox News contributor Lawrence Jones, and the author of Mean Dads for a Better America. Go buy it now for your Valentine. And host of the Tom Shillue Show. It is Tom Shillue. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
Yay! So, Kat, it's so obvious that this hatred and this bile that's trained on billionaires comes from some false notions that have been disproven by historic and modern economics and flat-out jealousy.
I think that jealousy has a lot to do with it.
That's right.
I am jealous of billionaires.
Sure.
It would be nice to take like a helicopter to work instead of the subway. It would be nice to have a hair and makeup team all the time and not just when I'm at work. I don't think I would still be single if I had a hair and makeup team all the time. I would love...
And a helicopter? Are you kidding me?
I know. And a helicopter. I mean, Con, who's turning that down?
Yeah.
To come to my copter with my hair extensions.
You would have an army of kept gigolos at your disposal.
1,000%. And is that not the dream, Kennedy?
I think it is.
But it's jealousy, and it's a misunderstanding of how economics works.
Yes.
Because everybody wants the same goal. Everybody wants it to be has to be a prosperous nation. Nobody wants people to have diseases and be destitute. And the way that people portray people who have a conservative or libertarian view on economics is that that's what we want, which is just so sickening and wrong. Because we want the same thing. We just realize how to get there based on the facts.
Yeah, and what are the facts, Lawrence?
Well, I think part of the facts is that there's a little bit of rich guilt going on, and I get it because
and they're feeding into it. I agree with you completely.
Into this, but for someone that grew up poor, and my mom had me at 16, and it was always that goal to strive to the next level. And now I finally get a little money, and you want to take it back from me as well. And so I think what we're doing is we're always blaming the rich people for being successful. We should be celebrating this. We should be telling young people this is what you expect, to get to. But instead, there's a problem. They need to forcefully give their money to the government as if the government is going to do anything productive with that money.
No, that's
and
the
waste
thing.
it all the time.
They're not. There are too many layers of bureaucracy. That's too expensive. Therefore, the money that goes to them doesn't actually trickle down to people.
And as you correctly said in your monologue, a lot of these billionaires are doing great things. Why not invest more money into those programs?
Yeah, exactly. Or why not encourage those programs instead of taking like the government does?
Yeah,
I think it's disingenuous when Howard Schultz and Bill Gates and Warren Buffett say, I should be paying more in taxes.
Yeah,
like,
because, well, they didn't say it. When they made $12 million, they didn't say it. When they made $100 million, they didn't say it. Even people who make billions of dollars who aren't on TV all the time don't say it because nobody likes to give away their money. But these guys just want to be liked. They're celebrities more than billionaires. We should craft it. We shouldn't make it a number. We should put special provisions into the tax code that says if you have over $50 billion and you still live in your same dumb house in Nebraska, you have to pay more money.
The Oracle of Omaha?
Omaha, yeah. Sorry, that's what. But we should craft it just for them because there's only like 15 people who insist that they should be paying more money.
But they
really don't believe it.
But that's the thing. Of course not. They could do that. There's someone smart enough in their office, like Bill Gates' assistant, can go, Bill, you know, open up your PC.
They take advantage
go
of
to
every single
IRS.gov.
code in the tax
Go to
code.
settings, go to payments.
Right.
Have at it. You could,
should be able to admit that you love money.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
I love money. Money's great.
All right, well, we got to move on to Cory Booker because he is such a disaster, and it is such a joy to talk about him. Yes, the New Jersey Democratic senator and 2020 hopeful, a.k.a. Spartacus, continued his pandering tour of America last night on Rachel Maddow, addressing a potential running mate. Like he's going to get the nom. Watch.
If you got the nomination, would you commit to choosing a woman as your vice presidential running mate?
I think it would be malpractice. I'm not going to make any specific commitments, but we clearly should have. I believe there should be a woman president right now, and it worked very hard to get one. But we have such a great field of leaders. I think that you will rarely see a Democratic ticket anymore without gender diversity, race diversity. I think it's something that we should have. So I'm not going to box myself in, but should I become it, you know I'll be looking to women first.
Oh, how big of you, Mr. Brave. If Booker really wants a female president, then he should step aside, because there's already a record number of women running for president. Among his Senate colleagues, you've got Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, and Kamala Harris, along with Liz Warren. They've all announced their candidacies. And Kirsten Gillibrand has announced an exploratory committee. So should Booker instead commit to being the VP for one of these ladies, Tom?
That's it. That's what he has to do. He's got to pick a lady, but it's got to be someone who's handicapped. They have to struggle with addiction. They got to have a whole list of things. And then he has to switch roles with them and take, you know, because why would he
take on their pain?
How could he have the gall to be a man picking a woman to be his running mate? They got to switch it around.
Oh, yeah. And his some of his lines, they're just...
Yeah.
He's such a cheeseball. They are
Barficus.
It is.
He's Barficus.
But see, the problem with all of this identity politics is where do you draw the line when it comes to this intersection? Like, you're going to piss someone off when you don't put them on the ticket. So this constant pandering, eventually you're going to run out of time. Yeah. Kamala Harris the same way.
I was listening to Tupac in 1986.
No, you weren't. It wasn't even out yet. Yeah. And so instead of being honest, she's pandering to people.
And lying about smoking weed to sound cool, which you're supposed to stop doing when you're about 15.
Come on, man.
And, you know, I support
it brings joy to people. Were people joyful sitting in prison in California?
Right. I don't think they were, Kennedy.
No. With their lives ruined, being prosecuted for nonviolent drug offenses. Felony convictions in San Francisco when she was DA shot up. It was over 60%.
Now she's
and she calls herself a progressive prosecutor.
Now she's a criminal justice reform warrior.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what? She's full of hot air as well.
She laughed about legalizing marijuana.
Probably huffing those cow farts that Cory Booker's trying to get rid of.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a vegan.
There's no way.
I eat garbanzo beans. I want for nothing. I live off of
Spartacus ate meat.
And also,
exactly right.
It's offensive to women in a way to say I'm picking a woman because she's a woman. You should say I'm picking the best person and have that happen to be a woman.
Absolutely. And like I went through resumes. I did a double-blind study. I didn't know attributes. I didn't know names. I didn't know gender. And I went down the list and I found the best one. It happened to be
a woman.
A lady.
That's actual equality.
Well, the panel returns after the break. We have so much more to discuss, including Esquire magazine getting blasted for a cover story chronicling the daily struggles of an average white teenager in America. Well, you don't have to commit suicide. You can just bore yourself to death reading this article. We'll talk about the controversy next. There There was a time when baseball was considered our national pastime, but that was before we had manufactured controversies on social media. This week's winner in the Insufferable People sweepstakes, it's an article in Esquire that profiles the life of a 17-year-old boy growing up in the age of school shootings, toxic masculinity, and the Me Too movement. Critics on Twitter are blasting the piece for devoting interest in the life of a boring white teenager, with some even calling it tone deaf and an insult during Black History Month. Never mind that the article is from their March issue. Esquire's editor-in-chief was quick to point out that the piece is the first in an ongoing series that will profile members of the Black, Asian, and LGBTQ communities in coming issues. So does Esquire need to get its act together, or does the Twitter mob need to get a life? Back with me, Kat, Lawrence, and Tom. Lawrence, I will start with you. I really did my best to make my way through this article, and this is why print media is dead.
The article sucked, just to begin with. But the second thing is, this is a part of a series, right? So they were trying to
It's not part of a series. They realized what deep yogurt they were in.
And then they put this out.
And they had to put that out because it's so boring and dumb.
The problem, though, Kennedy, it doesn't even matter. For example, let me give you an example. I love fashion. I would love to be in GQ one day, but because of my politics, they would never put me in.
Well,
I won't get mad at. I don't get to be mad at GQ and force them to highlight me. Look, there are plenty of magazines out there that highlight Black beauty and women that have beautiful hair and wear cultural colors that are important to the African-American experience. You don't get to force this on people. And I think we're just going way too far right now.
But, Tom, I think what they're trying to do is show very subtly that this kid is so annoying, and he has the same kind of punchable face
Absolutely.
as the kid from Covington. Who
Every word of this article was as condescending as the media reports on the Covington kids. It's a woman from New York. She's a cultural snob. She goes out there. The whole article is like one of those, you know, Americans under glass. Oh, the real, let's go look at America, what it's like. He's got a communist for a teacher.
The human zoo of Wisconsin.
Yeah, and she follows him around to class. She asks him questions. And then she quizzes him on. She actually says at one point that he's mixed on gender issues. He's mixed because some of his attitudes are, you know, they're weird MAGA attitudes. But then he also believes in gay marriage. So she gives him
Weird MAGA attitudes?
Yeah. So, the thing is, they treat him like he's this bizarre species.
Yeah.
And I think, my theory is that they did plan it all along, and I think they had a meeting, and I would love to have the minutes of the meeting released where they said, look, let's release this white kid during Black History Month, and everyone will talk about it, because
no one's talking about it.
There's no way people want to do this, though. They don't want the political suicide of this. And
You don't think it's like Gillette talking about toxic masculinity?
They love it.
I'm offended that we're profiling 17-year-old boys. Who wants to know anything about They're idiots. They're 17-year-old boys. There's the whole article. I don't understand why I had to read this horrible, boring article.
I actually liked the article. You all guys all hated it?
You enjoyed the article?
I thought the article was dumb. I thought it was poorly written. I thought it was presumptuous. I thought it was rambling.
I mean,
needed an
all over
editor.
the place.
That too.
It could have been a quarter of the length and still been just as boring. So
Yeah.
that's when you know they failed. You guys have not failed. You have succeeded.
Thank you.
Igniting the show and my heart. So thank you so much, Tom, Lawrence, and Kat. Woo! Topical Storm is next.